Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to show you swatch and give you my first impressions of the new upcoming palette in collaboration between Tarte and Grav3yardgirl. It is called the Swamp Queen Eye and Cheek palette and it retails at Tarte for $45. It will be available on the website June 6th, 2016, and it looks like you will be limited to one palette per person. If you haven't seen my video on how to keep oily or combination skin shine free, especially for the summer months, I will link that video for you here, in that I give you a bunch of tips for how to keep oiliness and shininess at bay, if that's a problem that you have. And I hope you're subscribed to the channel. Let's get looking at this palette. So this is what the outside of the palette looks like, and you can see that there is an alligator on the front, and Grav3yardgirl's YouTube name, and Swamp Queen. If you are a follower of Grav3yardgirl, then you will know what these references are. So it is sort of like faux wood, and it closes via a magnet. You do get a full-size mirror inside, and you also get a flat shader brush for the eyes. Alright, so here are the shades up close in the palette. You can see on the left you're going to get 3 face shades. One is a bronzer, one's a blush, and one's a highlighter. And then you will have 9 eyeshadow shades. So for the eyeshadows left to right, you have hashtag SFS. In the middle you have Natural Peaches, and then Dogman. In the next row you have Big Baby, Sassy Bun, and Sippy Sippy. And in the bottom row you have Haunting, Uncommon, and Man Cat. For the shades on the left you have Sweet Tea, Does This Thing Really Work, and Gator Wings. Alright, so first up is Sweet Tea. This is a bronzer and there is shimmer in the pan. It's not glittery on the skin necessarily, and it does have very nice pigmentation. Then we have Does This Thing Really Work? This is a dusty rose pink with, I think, a little bit of purple in it. Again, there's shimmer in the pan, but it doesn't show up too shimmery on the skin. I'm going to add a second layer. And then Gator Wings is the highlighter. This has really flaky shimmer in the pan. But now as I'm applying it, these flecks of glitter are sort of flying away and just leaving behind a more refined shimmer on the skin. Alright, I'm dabbing on a little more. So can you see these flakes here on the skin? But they don't really adhere. So if I do that, if I kind of just blow on it, those flakes kind of come off the skin. Okay, so there are the 3 face shades swatched up close. The bronzer just has 1 layer and these two have a couple of layers applied. So for the eyeshadows, we're starting with hashtag SFS. This is a metallic rose gold. Second is Natural Peaches. This is a peachy nude. Looks like it has a satin finish. Next up is Dogman. This is a glittery brown. It's very warm toned. It has an orange reddish undertone to it with coppery bronze shimmer. Okay, so those are the top 3 shades up close. Then we have Big Baby. This looks like a matte cream. Sassy Bun. This is a coppery metallic peach. And Sippy Sippy. This is a brown with gold glitter. Okay, here are the next 3 shades up close. I'm gonna blow on my skin for this swatch because I want to see if the glitter is going to adhere. All of these are swatched over primer as always. Uh-oh. So the glitter just flew off everywhere. And like I said, this is applied over primer, So if you want that rich glitter to stay on there, you might need to use a sticky base. I will have to test that out. Then we have Haunting, which is a shimmering grade lavender. Uncommon, which is a metallic grade plum. And Mancat, which looks like it's a matte medium plum. Alright, so here are the bottom 3 eyeshadow shades up close. So there is the Swamp Queen Eye and Cheek palette. My first impressions are that the eyeshadows all have a very buttery, smooth texture. The only one that showed any signs of any sort of patchiness or dryness, and only to a very small extent, was the last shade, Mancat. But for the most part, they are really rich and buttery. But with the eyeshadows and the face shades, what I noticed is that the shimmer, especially when a shade has bigger shimmer particles, they don't adhere to the skin, so they aren't mixed into and are one with the actual powder. They kind of just sit on top of the skin, so as soon as you move around, or if you blow on the swatch, that glitter just sort of flies away. So that, I'm not sure how that's going to really work once these are applied to the face. I do my swatches over primer and any sort of face product over some sort of lotion or foundation or powder base. But, it doesn't exactly mimic the skin, which naturally tends to have more oils. That said, I'm not sure that that's going to make these glitter particles adhere, but like I said, you'll have to wait until the written review at allurabeauty.com is done after I fully test these out, and I will put a link to that review once it is up in the description box below. But let me know what your first impressions are of this palette, or if by the time that you see this video you have already tested this out for yourself, what thoughts you have. I hope that this was helpful to you, and as always, thank you for taking the time to watch. I'll see you in the next video. This is a matte shade. On the lips, this muted grade lavender color is here. It is Plum Princess, also a matte finish. Particularly the eyeshadows, I think they're all matte finishes. That's hard to get very good quality pigmentation and smoothness with matte formulas versus shimmering formulas, and MAC did a really good job on those these times. Second favorite is an oldie but goodie. This is something I use almost on a daily basis. It is the #1 contouring palette that I reach for. If I want something a little more dramatic, I go for my Lorac Pro contouring kit, but this is more of the everyday contouring kit. It is by Kat Von D, the Shade and Light palette. Probably heard of it and seen it 1,000 times on YouTube, so I won't get that in depth. But if you are relatively new or haven't seen swatches, the thing that I like particularly about this palette is the strength of pigmentation versus other contouring palettes that are out on the market. So if you want to see exactly what the shades look like and how they apply and blend out, you can click on this video here. Oh, and this is the palette that I've used to contour and bronze the face. Next up is something that I showed you in my most recent What's New in Beauty video. That giveaway is actually still open and going on, so if you want to check it out and know how to enter, there are a ton of cool things that I am giving away. I will link that again here. This is by Saint Tropez. This is the In Shower Tanning Lotion. This is a product that I did not think would work. It is something you apply on the skin after you have taken a shower, you turn the water off, you apply this onto damp skin, and you wait for 3 minutes. You wouldn't think that you could get a tan from just applying something for 3 minutes and then rinsing it off, but you can. Now, don't get me wrong, you're not going to get a deep, rich tan from this. If you really want something very deep, you need to go with the mousse or the lotion, the more traditional ones. But this one will noticeably give you a flush of color, so it will make light or very fair skin look more glowing and quote-unquote healthy. Like it has a bit of a tan, something very natural and noticeable. And it's super easy, super quick, and you don't get that lingering self-tanner scent either. And the last favorite for this month is something that I showed in my What's New in Beauty video. So I'll put a little clip of it here. And I left it at my friend's house, so I don't have it to show you right now, but I absolutely love these 2 palettes for summer 2016 by Terry. They are the